It's my great pleasure again to introduce His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu. After reading Radheshyam Prabhu's introduction, I felt like he's a personification of success and accomplishment. So Radheshyam Prabhu is an IIT Bombay topper in MTech. After fulfilling his family duties to parents and sisters, by taking a promising engineering career as many companies, went on to dedicate his life as a celibate monk of ISKCON in 1994 to youth transformation and value-based leadership. As a president of ISKCON Pune since 1997, he leads a vibrant community of over 6,000 members, nurturing character development, spiritual education, and social responsibility. He also serves as co-president of ISKCON Hyderabad. His commitment to global outreach was recognized by ISKCON's governing body commission, appointing him as a global duty officer for youth training in the West. Every year, he reaches out 3 months to conduct programs and workshops across the USA, including MIT, Harvard, Stanford, and other universities, inspiring thousands of young minds toward the purposeful living. He is also the founder and president of Voice, Vedic Voices for Inspiration, Culture and Education, ISKCON's youth wing that offers structured training in spiritual leadership. Jai Prabhu, all glories to you. And the major universities in India and abroad. Voice has empowered a network of several thousands of trained youth who are now working with the MNCs and universities while leading a pure life based on character, competence and devotion, reaching out to save the youth from self-destructive habits and awakening love for Supreme Lord. This is only 1/4. So let us welcome Radheshyam Prabhu for 3 times chanting loudly. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you, Radheshyam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय राधा रमण गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय 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 गोविंद जय गोपाल केशव माधव दीन दया जय जय राधे जय जय श्याम जय जय श्री वृंदावन धाम जय जय राधे जय जय श्याम जय जय श्री वृंदावन धाम जय जय राधे जय जय श्याम जय जय श्री वृंदावन धाम जय जय श्री वृंदावन धाम निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्रील प्रभुपाद की समावेत गौर भक्त वृंद की ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमा ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमा ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती इति नामिने श्रीवर्षवानवी देवी दायिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्री रूपानुग भक्तिदा कृष्ण श्री गौर करुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तिगे दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्ध अपसिद्धांत द्वांतहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलंब रसाम्बोधे पदाम्बोजायते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंदनामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते गौरा this I request all of you to repeat after me गौराविर्भाव भूमेस्त्वं निर्देश सज्जन प्रियः वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः I offer my respectful obeisances to Jagannathadas Babaji, who is respected by the entire Vaishnava community and who discovered the place where Lord Chaitanya appeared. And Jagannathadas Babaji is the commander-in-chief of the Vaishnavas, the title Vaishnava Sarvabhauma given by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are sitting at the sacred place of Surya Kund. It was so enlivening to hear Gaurangpu after a very long time. He travels in one side of the globe, I travel on another side sometimes. We don't get to meet each other often nowadays like in the college days. It was so ecstatic to hear him. Is it loud enough? Am I loud enough? You all can hear me? They can't hear, they are saying. Behind. You all can hear me? They can hear, I think. I think the sound, that motor sound is problem for you. Hare Krishna. I will try my mouth. I will try to keep it as close to the mic, okay? How many of you here are coming for such a yatra like this to Govardhan or Vrindavan for the first time? Okay, thank you. You see, whenever we hear anything about Lord Krishna, who is Lord of our life, but that which produces suspicion in our mind, that will bring about a great obstacle in progressing in devotional service. Just like, for example, if a boy is told by his parents that next week there is going to be your marriage, first thing what the boy will ask the parents? Who is the girl? Correct, no? And after that what he will want to know? What is her name? Can you show me a photo? What is her form? What are her qualities? What is her behavior? What is her nature? Is it Devagana or Asuragan? Correct, no? You will want to know, correct or not? Is it not true? So everything you will want to know before you are ready to connect with somebody as a life partner. You all agree with me? Yeah. In the same manner, forget about life partner, having an eternal partner. How much more you would want to be free from suspicion about laying down your life at the feet of somebody who is going to be your eternal life partner, eternal partner. So there cannot be any gap between you and Krishna, even 1 millimeter also gap. As soon as there is a gap or anything that produces an obstacle to the faith in Lord Krishna, that is going to dampen our bhakti. It's like sprinkling water in firewood. And when do we get such doubts? When we hear some pastimes of Lord Krishna in the scriptures. For example, Bhagavan apite ratri sharadot fulla mallikaha. Like that one verse was spoken by Shukadeva Goswami. That on the Sharad Purnima time, Lord Krishna played on his flute and invited the gopis to come and dance with him under the Vamshiva tree. Immediately there were sages, munis, who were twisting their eyebrows, looking at each other. What is this coming up? They thought, till now he has been saying Bhagavan Krishna, and how can the Bhagavan Krishna behave like this? That he is going to dance with some women. Is this the example that he is setting for the world? Will people not get misled by hearing such pastimes? Just because he happens to be God, can he do any damn thing under the sun? These kind of questions came in their mind. Understanding their mindset, Parikshit Maharaj raised a question to Shukadeva Goswami. Krishnam viduhu param kantam natu brahmataya mune guna pravaho paramastha gunadiyam katam. Oh great sage, tell me, these gopis, did they love Krishna as a lover or they saw him as a Parabrahman? This doubt has arisen in my mind. Because if they saw him as Parabrahman, Supreme Lord, it's one thing. But if they saw him as a beautiful boy and they considered themselves a beautiful girl, then how is it different from the relationship between a boy and a girl in this world, which is driven by the three gunas, guna pravaho, paramas, especially rajoguna, from which incites lust in this world. Rajoguna, how is this relationship different from that? Please do not think Parikshit was suspicious. He is a pure devotee. But he is asking for whose benefit? For all of us. Therefore, Shukadeva Goswami gave some 8-10 reasons for why Krishna danced with the gopis. One of the very first things he said was, see, carrying Krishna in their hearts, there are so many brahmacharis and sannyasis who do not feel any need for any woman in their lives. And they are walking in the surface of the globe all their life, chanting, dancing, very happy, and they go back home, back to Godhead. If even a jiva can give up the company of opposite sex, why does the Supreme Lord need opposite sex? Is it how many of things? Brilliant question. Correct? That's what Shukadeva Goswami asked. He doesn't need company of any woman. No woman in this world can satisfy him. In fact, if you take Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, 4 categories of people, the sex match is seen only by Shudras. Shudras are the 4th category because they are driven by senses. Those who want rubbing of the 2 animated bodies, they are Shudras. They only go for it. Vaishyas, they think about money match. You ask any Agarwal, Goyal, Bansal, you ask anybody. They will see the money match, status match, they will see. See the Kshatriyas, Swayamvara generally was always accompanied by some kind of competition. Like if you see, in Draupadi's marriage, you have to shoot a, fish. Or in Satya's marriage, when Krishna wanted to marry Satya, you have to control some 7 bulls, isn't it? Isn't it? So Kshatriya means you have to be very strong. Go into the forest and slap a tiger and come. Then only you can marry. Imagine if you keep that competition now, I don't know how many will get married. Isn't it? So you need physical strength for Kshatriya. And Brahmana means they will check character. Is the girl or the boy, just like Devahuti wants to marry, she considered Kardama Muni's pure character, his devotion, his saintliness, his exalted position, all that. Although when playboy was, Gandharva was coming in a plane and he peeped out of the plane from the sky when Devahuti was playing a ball with her friends on the rooftop of her palace. Although he was falling down from the plane, she didn't fall for him. Knowing well that he is simply a playboy, useless fellow, good for nothing. She wanted a man of character. So she was willing to marry a person living in the forest, practically penniless. And she is daughter of the king of the whole world. So in the Vedic times, they saw the character of a person. Similarly, he also told Kardama Muni when he met Devahuti's father, Swayambha Manu, he told him that although your daughter is most beautiful and she is the king of the whole world, she did not become allured or carried away by somebody who is externally handsome, but who has no character, who lacks character. And also she is herself brought up in a very pure manner. So, and she is a pure devotee. So he accepted her. You will see that. So this is actually Brahmana standard. But Krishna is which category? Is he Shudra or Vaishya or Kshatriya or Brahmana? He is Vishuddha Sattva. Then what type of girl will match him if you ask? Only a person whose heart is full of love, who does not have even a tinge of anything material. Only such a person with service attitude will be able to please Krishna. There is one verse in the Bhagavatam, Uddama bhava vishanam alaval guhasa vridaavaloka nihato madanopi yasam sammukhya chapa majahat pramadottamasta yasyendriyam vimatitum kuhakair nashekuhu. This verse says that yasya indriyam vimatitum kuhakair nashekuhu. The queens of Dwaraka were so beautiful. They had sparkling eyes. They were like lightning beauty. They were wearing costly, very attractive saris and ornaments and long flowing braided hair, and they were looking at Krishna with sidelong glances and trying to attract him with their furtive glances and bashful smiles. But Krishna was least affected, it is said. Yasya indriyam, the Lord's senses, vimatitum, agitated, kohakair nasheku. Nasheku means they were not agitated easily. See, in this world, men are chasing after women, hunting for women, and get slaps also. Whereas Lord Krishna was never after any woman. Prabhupada says the goddesses of fortune are behind him. He is not behind anybody. Prabhupada writes that. Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrama Sevyamana. They want to serve him. He is not behind anybody. So he was not attracted to them. This verse says that. Then what was he attracted to them for? It says, when he returned to palace, they would take off his mukut and comb his hair. They would wash his feet and feed him a big plate of prasad. Standing next to him, they will fan him. Krishna smiled and thought, there are thousands of servant maids in the palace, but my queens want to personally serve me. That service attitude, that attracted him very much. The Kubja, she is not known for any great beauty. She was a hunchbacked woman. But Krishna saw some service attitude in her. She's carrying sandalwood. She's going to take it to Kamsa. Let me check whether she wants to serve Kamsa or serve me. So he told her, oh, beautiful, tall, lady. He just joked about her. Somebody may say, how can Krishna crack jokes like that? And all covered boys were laughing. Because Prabhupada says Krishna can crack jokes because he actually made her beautiful. Subsequently. Whatever he said, he made her. So, when he invited her and said her that if you offer this chandan to Balram and me, your life will become fortunate. And immediately she offered to Krishna and Balram. Next moment, Prabhupada says, Krishna thought, this jiva has offered me seva. Then I want to reciprocate with this jiva in some way. How do I do that? He put his foot on her foot with his two fingers like this kept below her chin and jerked her and lifted her, and next moment she became a young, beautiful girl. There Prabhupada writes that in this world all of us are kubjas, he says. And what is the kubdi, what is the hunchback we are carrying? Our sinful baggage. Even the most beautiful cinema actors and actresses are also kubjas only. Although they have external beauty, they are internally not pure. Because they are carrying the baggage of sinful reactions. But one good news for all of us, if we somehow or other engage ourselves in service of Krishna by the guidance of devotees, then we will become free from all that baggage. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami mashach. And Krishna becomes attracted to you for your service attitude. Nothing else can attract him. Amongst all the people who have service attitude, the topmost service attitude is Srimati Radharani. Anaya radhito nunam bhagavan haririshwaraha yanno vihaya govinda. It said, yanno vihaya. Krishna cannot, for one moment, be separated from Srimati Radharani. Why? Because she has an ocean of service attitude. The word Radha comes from the word Aradhana. From the word Aradhana comes the word Radha. So, she is constantly worshipping Krishna with 64 different talents. She is the best dramatist, best dresser, best singer, best cook, best dancer, everything. Everything, she is the best. So, rasa lasya gita narma satkalali pandita prema ramya rupa vesha sadgunali mandita vishwavandya gopa yoshidali topi nadika yasmakyam atma pada padma dasya dasya. See, that was says rasa lasya gita narma satkalali pandita. In all the skills, she is the most talented and all the gopis push her in the front. But these are not her qualifications. The greatest qualification is she has the service attitude. In the Jaiva Dharma, Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes one section when Raghunath Das, Raghunath Das, the student is asking his guru, it appears that the Shakti is practically doing everything. Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, Tarata Shakti, similarly Samvit Shakti, Radhini Shakti, Sandhini Shakti. In the same manner, we have many Ichcha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Brahma Shakti, Vishnu Shakti, Shiva Shakti. All these Shaktis are very, very active. Now we have kinetic Shakti, potential Shakti, chemical Shakti, all Shaktis also. In this world, 99% of the activities are all done by Shaktis. Then who is God? Is Shakti God or is Shaktiman God? He asked. The Guru said, you see, the prerogative of Shakti is two things. The Shakti always remains subordinate to Shaktiman, and the Shakti always understands the desire of the Shaktiman and acts accordingly. These two natures are there in Shakti. And Shakti is like the sunlight, and Shaktiman is like the sun. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also said, Ataparakita Surya nahi jani, Radha virahita Krishna nahi mani. He is saying that I do not accept that sun which has no light or heat. Similarly, I don't accept that Krishna who does not have Radharani standing by his side. He says, I only accept Radha and Krishna together. And we don't worship Radharani alone also. We shouldn't. Why? Because if you want to only take Lakshmi with you, Lakshmi will come in the back of owl. You know, owl is her Vahana. But if you want Lakshmi Narayan together, they will come on the back of Garuda. What is the difference? Garuda, when he moves the wings, it gives out all the Vedic chants. But when Lakshmi comes in the back of owl, owls are awake at what time? That means we will indulge that money in nighttime activities. Beer bar, all kinds of cabaret dances, drinking, smoking. That is why people who only get money from Lakshmi, they become destroyed. Ravana wanted only Lakshmi. So we should never chant only Radha's name. We should chant Radha and Krishna's name together. Now who can chant Radha's name alone? Only highly qualified personalities like Narada, for example, or Sanak Sanatan. Like Hanuman can sit with Sita alone in Ashaka Vatika and talk for hours together because his position is so exalted that he is a constant glorifier of Ram. And she was relishing that association. Similarly, Acharya, somebody like the Goswamis who have become very advanced in the Radha Dasyam, we call it. Only they can chant Radha's name. Like Shiva is singing that very famous, Ashtakam is chanting, and Radharani. But otherwise, all others, like all of us practicing devotees, we should always chant Yugalanam. Because our understanding of Radharani is very meager. So, she is the Supreme Mother. Nevertheless, our understanding is very paltry amount of understanding. So, therefore, we should always, because we cannot see her as our Swamini in the mood of a Sakhi or a Manjari. We can't see her in that Baba. Sometimes you see her like that, other times you see in some other way. Therefore, we should always worship together, Radha and Krishna. Chant also Yugal Nam only, Hare Krishna mantra only. So, now, coming to this point of what attracts Krishna is only one thing. What is it? What is it? Service attitude. Nothing, you cannot attract him with anything else. Now, I was wondering, so the Jiva is also able to attract Krishna with service attitude. Then I came to know, you see, all the Jivas are part and parcel of Krishna. And the service attitude or the love that the Jiva carries in the heart is part and parcel of Radharani's love. So, we are tiny Jivas carrying little love in our heart and running here and there and trying to do some seva. And she has oceanic love, which she serves. So, she is the prime servant of Krishna and we all are assisting limbs. Assisting hands for Srimati Radharani. So, with whatever seva bhav we have, we can assist her. And then in this way, she will offer our service. So, ascending service, descending mercy, we call it. That's how we can attract him. Because even what to speak of Krishna not getting attracted to opposite sex, any jiva also, when they come to the Brahma Bhuta stage, what is the Brahma Bhuta stage? Na Shochati. They can clearly see there is no difference between male and female at all. What we see in this world also as difference is only due to bodily identification. Because the jiva sitting in the body of a female, sitting in the body of a male is of very similar nature. How we should see all the jivas in this world? We should see them as a Navadvara Pure Dehi. Both in Bhagavatam also, in Bhagavad Gita also this word is used. Navadvara Pure Dehi means 9 hold living entities. Their bodies have how many holes? 9 holes. And all the 9 holes are nasty substances come out of this body. This body is nothing glorious. You see, when the hair is on your head, you may put shampoo and scented oils and everything. But one hair comes in your food, what happens? You throw away the whole food. Similarly, when you have nails, you can put very nice nail polish and show to people and allure people. But when one nail is cut, where does it go? Go straight to dustbin. So therefore, what we consider as very charming, attractive, all that glitters is not gold, Maya's glamour is for fools, it is said. So we have to see that this body itself is a punishment for the jiva. The body in which we are seated now, Urmila Mataji was giving a lecture in Mayapur. She was telling every day morning when I go to the washroom to take a bath, after performing the morning activity, she said, I consider what is this nasty body? How horrible this body is, what kind of substances come out of the body. and I am actually seated in this body. She was telling, it's like putting you in a room where you bring a garbage truck and then throw all the garbage into that room and ask you to stay there. It's a humiliation. This body is a horrible body. But at the same time, Vaishnavas just don't see the body as a horrible body. They use it. The best use of bad bargain is what? Use this body in Krishna service. Because the Jiva, we are present, Lord is also present by our side. He is standing also. So we can use our body and use it as a springboard to jump to the Vishuddha Sattva platform. Bring the body to Sattva Guna, and from Sattva Guna we can go to Vishuddha Sattva, and in Vishuddha Sattva we can get rid of the bodily consciousness completely. Actually in Sattva Guna itself one can start seeing that this body is not meant for enjoyment. Even in Sattva Guna one can see that gradually. Like in Rajo Guna, a passionate living entity thinks, whether you are a man or a woman, if you are passionate, that's where sex life is attractive. And in Tamo Guna also, because one is practically ignorant. Tamo Guna means you can be slapped, whipped, kicked, punched and buried also. Tamo Guna means you have no control of life. Rajo Guna means you have some control. And Sattva Guna means you have substantial control of the way the body functions. You can guide. So in Sattva Guna onwards, when we come, we start seeing the Sukham and Jnanam. When these things arise in our system, gradually we can start appreciating that we should be, first of all, begin with Dharma. And then we gradually understand Parodharma, the supreme Dharma, love of God. In this way, gradually we can come. And in that gradual upgradation of knowledge, one of the most important things is, do not allow any doubt to remain in your heart about Krishna. Because if there are doubts, those doubts are going to slow down our pace in spiritual life. One time, we had to go from Pune to Bombay. We were going in our sumo. So one place in the early morning, 5 o'clock, the road was bifurcating like this. So we didn't know whether to go in this road or this road. It was slightly drizzling also. So I told our driver, please check. In those days, GPS was not there in those days. So the driver slowly moved this way, and then in one shop he went, to tea shop, one fellow was sitting. He asked him, is this the road to Bombay? He asked. They said, no. He said, you don't know, you go behind, there is another road, he said. Before that fellow completed the sentence, our driver went quickly behind and took the road, and now his speed was like anything. Now he could go at a very fast speed. Why he could go? Because now there is no more doubt. Because there are only two roads. Now he has come to know that this is not the road. Then he took another road and he could go fast. Similarly, in the path of spiritual life, the doubts dampen our speed. One example, let me tell you. When I was in the early days of my Krishna consciousness, I was reading Krishna book. And there it was mentioned that Krishna went to Mathura. He asked a tailor for some clothes. And the tailor didn't, he asked the dhobi. He asked one washerman for the clothes, and the washerman didn't give him cloth. So Krishna took his hand and kept it. And the head fell off. And I was shocked. What did the washerman do wrong? He only told the cloth belongs to Kamsa. He didn't tell wrong, he told the right thing. And Father Krishna is just keeping the hand and cutting off his head. It's too much. I asked many devotees. They said, hey, you should not ask such questions. Aparad. Lord, whatever he does is absolute. You should just accept it. I couldn't accept it. I was asking many devotees. One day I read the Krishna Kathamrita magazine. There it was mentioned in Lord Ram's Leela. One time Dhobi's wife, she had gone out of station somewhere, but morning she went and evening she was supposed to come. She couldn't come back. Night she had to stay back in some other place. And next day morning when she returned home, the husband rejected her, saying that night you must have stayed with some other man. She said, no, it became too late, I couldn't return back. And she even told where she stayed and all that. But he said, I am not like that Ram, he said, who accepted Sita after she stayed for several months with Ravana, like that he spoke. And this was heard by one of the spies who brought the news to Lord Ram. And you all know that after that Lord Ram arranged for Sita to be taken to the Valmiki's ashram. Correct, no? So, the whole world became absorbed in gloom. Because Lord Ram and Sita, devotees feel happy to see them together. Not separated, And that separation was made by whom? By this Dhobi. But this Dhobi didn't get any punishment at that time. But the Krishna Leela, the same Dhobi comes as this Dhobi in Mathura. Now he got the punishment. When I heard it, I was so jolly. I was already angry with that Dobi because when I had read about Ramayana, I was asking so many people why this fellow was not punished. And Sita is so pure. Huh? And I cried when I heard this, how can Ram send Sita away? I was angry on Ram also at that time. Huh? But later on I understood Ram didn't banish Sita, but he sent Sita to Valmiki's ashram. In Valmiki's ashram there were many ladies who are also, there were rishis with wives. Huh? They took very good care of her. There was no problem. Huh? And she also was very fond of the forest life. She wanted to go also. And then eventually, the pastime ends. Now you will see Lord Ram wanted to set the example of an ideal king. Caesar's wife must be above suspicion, it is said. So he wanted to be a spotless leader. So he did that. So that means leader should be very sacrificing. That's what Lord Ram teaches. Anyway, now that the Dobi got punishment, I became relieved now. I became peaceful. Why am I saying this? If there are doubts, lingering in our mind, it should be cleared. Another time I had a question about this, why this, Lord is favoring the Devatas always and not favoring the Asuras. Later on I read Vishwanath Thakur said, Lord, how did he deal with Bali Maharaj or with Prahlad Maharaj or Vibhishan? He treated them exactly as his devotees. On the other hand, Lord killed his own son Bhaumasura, who was actually against Brahminical culture. That means Lord is not categorizing anybody as Deva or Asura. Only those who are against Brahminical culture, Lord finishes them. Those who are favoring Brahminical culture and causing living entities to get liberated and go back to God, Lord appreciates that. So, in the same manner, when it comes to Lord Krishna's dealings, there are 18 types of dosh in an ordinary living entity. For example, the living entity cries, becomes angry, becomes lusty, becomes greedy, sometimes becomes fearful, sometimes runs away from somebody, sometimes attacks somebody. Like that, there are 18 qualities like that. And all this is considered the conditioned soul's blemishes. They are all listed in Padma Purana. And then it is said, when the same doshas are exhibited by Krishna, they become bhushanam, not dushanam, it is said. For example, when Krishna is stealing butter, he is glorified as Makanchor, isn't it? So, whole Vrindavan celebrates him as Makanchor. When Krishna runs away from battlefield, he is called Ranchod. In Gujarat, he is celebrated as Ranchodra. On the other hand, imagine if somebody steals somebody's purse, pickpocketer, police will remove the belt and whip him, beat him up. He is not glorified. Similarly, if a king runs away from the battlefield and goes back to palace, the queen will not allow him to come inside. She will say that you have got an arrow behind your back, go back. You should have arrow in the front. You should never show your back in the battle. So in this world, you will see stealing or running away from battle is considered an inglorious thing. Whereas when Krishna has said, it is glorified. Why is that so? There is a reason for that. Because all the butter in all of creation belongs to whom? Krishna only. Similarly, 17 times Krishna made Jarasandha run away. Correct, no? And 18th time, Krishna had to go for attending to Rukmini's letter. So therefore, he put on pause mode. He said, I don't want to fight now, I have another important business. So he went away for that. Not that he was defeated or something. So, when Lord does these activities, one has to know the glorious thing. So Shukadeva Goswami said, in the Vrindavan also, when all the gopis were in their homes, when Krishna played on his flute and invited, that flute sound of Krishna is a call for all the jivas, not only the gopis. Even all of us are getting the flute call of Krishna. Krishna is telling all the jivas, why are you busy with so many materialistic activities? Turn to me. Millions of lifetimes you have done so many things. In this life you are an engineer. Early life you were a doctor. Before that you were a chartered accountant. Before that you are a coolie. Sometimes you are in a king's body. Sometimes you are in a citizen's body. Sometimes in a human body. Sometimes in an animal's body, bird's body. Why are you roaming here and there? What are you searching for? You are looking for happiness. Happiness is right here. I am playing on the flute and inviting you. Come and dance with me. This invitation Krishna is giving for whom? For gopis? For all of us. For all the jivas. So any jiva who takes the call of Krishna seriously, they are the most blessed, fortunate. Every one of us sitting here, you have already taken Krishna's call seriously in your life. Therefore you are here. You come to the point where you have come to 16 rounds, you are coming for the yatras. You have become eager to connect with Krishna, communicate with Krishna, develop a relationship with Krishna. In fact, you revive our lost, forgotten relationship with Krishna and be in His shelter for all time. So that is the meaning of a gopi. You will see who are the gopis, Shrutichari gopis, Rishichari gopis, you find the Devakanya gopis. These are all rishis and munis from various places. They all actually have done millions of lifetimes of devotion to the Lord. At last they have been allowed to come so close to the Lord so intimately, where they can sing with the Lord, playfully dance with the Lord. So Shukadeva Goswami said, when Krishna was dancing with the gopis, it was like a child sometimes lying on a floor, on a mirror floor, and beating the floor, seeing its own reflection. It was seeing its own reflection. So like that, Krishna was playing and dancing with the gopis. Because they are whose part and parcels? Yeah, thank you. Whose part and parcels? Krishna's part and parcels. So Krishna is dancing with whom? His own part and parcels. He is not dancing with somebody who is outside of himself. They are all his own part and parcels. Just like there is one verse which says, Radha Krishna ekatanu duyi dehadari anyonya vilasa kare aswadana kari. This is also Kaviraj Goswami says, Radha and Krishna are one, but they have become two. For the sake of performing Leela, to delight the living entities. The Padma Puran, there is a verse which says, Lord says, Mad Bhakta Vinodartam Karomi Vividaha Kriyaha. He says, for the pleasure of my devotees, I perform various Leelas. There's another verse also, Radha Krishna Pranaya Bhakritir Kladini Shakti Rasmat Ekatmana Abhibhupura Deha Bedam Katautau Chaitanya Kyam Prakatam Aduna Tadvayam Chaikyam Aptam Radha Bhava Dhyuti Suvalitam Naomi Krishna Swarupam. In this verse, both are there. Radha and Krishna are separately existing, and Radha and Krishna are united, they are one, as Lord Chaitanya. So like that he explains. So Radha and Krishna should be seen like musk deer and the musk, or like the musk and its smell, or like the sun and the sunlight. They are one, but they have appeared in two forms for the sake of performing Leela and making the spiritual world very colorful for all the living entities to take part. So you will find sometimes the Shakti Shaktiman are separated. Like Sita Ram are separated. One is in Lanka, one is in Panchavati. Then devotees get a lot of seva to do. Find out where Sita is, build the bridge, and then fight the war. So devotees get a lot of seva. When Radha and Krishna are together, or Lakshmi Narayana are together, or Sita Ram together, then they celebrate festivals also. Like in Pattabhishek, festival in Ayodhya, like that. But devotees like which one? Radha and Krishna together or separated? Together. They always like to see together. That's why we go and collect donations, because donation is Lakshmi. We should give Lakshmi to Lakshmi Narayan. Therefore bring it to Narayan. That's the meaning of that. Why do we raise funds and build temple? Because the jivas are all pocketing a lot of money. Tell them, release the money from your pockets and give it back to Narayana. Of course you can keep some money for your food, clothing, shelter. But balance you should give it to Narayana. Connect all the wealth to Narayana back. That's the meaning of propagating this message. So when in this way I was telling you various examples, coming to this particular place, Surya Kund, like Radharani, the Radharani's tattva is the Madhurya Leela tattva. If you say Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, Madhuryaras, correct? No? In Shantaras there is no service, there is only amazement. Like for example, everybody is saying, they are very stunned by the Lord's greatness. You ask a person in Shantaras, why are you not serving? He will say, how can I serve? Lord is owner of everything. He has everything. What can I give him? He will ask like that. Just like 4 Kumaras were like that. They were in Shantarati. But then when you come to Dasyaras, oh Lord is my master, I want to serve. When you come to Sakyaras, I not only want to serve, I want to, deal with him in a friendly mood. There is more intimacy as a friend. In Dasyaras, there is reverence as a master. Whereas in Sakyaras, there is friendly mood, playful mood. Sometimes you can climb on Krishna's shoulder, sometimes Krishna climbs on Gopa's shoulder. That type of intimacy is there. When you go to Vatsalyaras, besides intimacy, there is a feeling of possessiveness. Krishna belongs to me. Swamatussin nagatraya vistrasta kabarasraja swamatu, it is said. I am Krishna's mother. Like Gauranga Prabhu was telling today, Yashoda is worried that, the monkey should not scratch his body, cow should not put their hooves on his thighs, and Krishna should not fall into some kund in Vrindavan. He was telling about how, Krishna wanted to play with the horns of the bulls, or he wanted to open the mouth of the monkeys and count the teeth and all that, isn't it? He wanted to touch fire. So, in this way, Yashoda is very afraid because of feeling of maintenance. I have to maintain Krishna. He belongs to me. He is my child. He is very innocent. And I need to. So that is a feeling of possessiveness. And beyond that comes Madhurya Rasa, where all these previous ones are there. There is service, there is intimacy, there is friendliness, there is also a mood of maintenance, and then there is conjugal love, which is the most intimate. So if you read the book Spiritual Warrior by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, in that book he brings out this point so beautifully. He says, in this world, when a man and woman unite in sex life for producing a child, he says that this activity of sex life is actually a biological activity for the purpose of reproduction. Otherwise, when you talk about love, it has nothing to do with sex life. Because love is of the heart, and the sex life is of the genitals for the sake of reproduction, if you see. That is why even college boys, girls, they put a heart with the arrow. You all have seen that? When they talk about love, because love is of the heart. Love is of the heart. So there is some understanding. In this world, the pleasure that man and woman get in that union is only one small part of the body. He says only one sense, and that too is short-lived. Whereas the spiritual body is made up of what? Satchidananda. Krishna's body is made up of Satchidananda. Every part can perform the activity of every other part. So both the bodies are blissful. Krishna's body is very blissful body. Our body is also blissful. So one doesn't need to unite like the way people unite in this world to get any pleasure. So the jiva's pleasure actually comes in meeting Krishna, not necessarily meeting and touching Krishna, but even by thinking about Krishna, longing for Krishna, anticipating Krishna. They get extreme bliss in those activities. So therefore, you can read this verse 3:15-21. Yat sankulam haripadanata drishtair vaiduryamara hema mayair vimanaihi yesham brihat katitatasmita shobhimukyah krishnatmana naraja adadurutsmayadhyaihi. This verse, purport, if you read, Prabhupada says here, two things he says in the purport. One is in the Vaikuntha planets, if you bow down and say, I want a Vaikuntha plane, Lord will immediately provide you. You don't need aeronautics industry for making a plane. That is one thing he says. But the second thing Prabhupada says is, in the Vaikuntha planets, he says, men and women are compared to clouds and lightning. This is coming in the 3rd canto, 9th chapter. You will read that also. Men are compared to bluish clouds or blackish clouds, and women are compared to lightning. Both are extremely beautiful. Men are handsome, women are beautiful. And their teeth are like a row of kundu buds, and their eyes are like sparkling, and they have beautiful dresses and costly ornaments, and they are all smiling, laughing. There is association with the opposite sex, but there is no sex life. Prabhupada writes that. You will read that. You can read it in the purport, you will see that. So, why? Because the spiritual bliss is so exalted there that everybody is attracted to the Lord, nobody is attracted to each other for any other type of happiness. I was in the class of His Holiness Kadambakanan Maharaj. One student asked him a question, Maharaj, Radha Krishna, Leela and all we hear, but do the Gopas get to meet Gopis also? Either one boy asked a question. And Maharaj immediately answered that if a Gopi and Gopa meet behind the bush, they will be discussing how to serve Radha and Krishna. Because nothing else crosses their mind. There is no concept of enjoying separate from the divine couple. All activities they do are only in relation to divine couple, Krishna only. And Radha and Krishna also, if you want to know what is the quality of their enjoyment, it is there in one of the purports in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. 16 activities that the Sakhis and the Manjaris do in relation to Radha and Krishna. There is nothing about sex life, you will see that. Meeting of Radha and Krishna coming and what type of discussions happen and everything, you should read that. 16 things in one of the Chaitanya Charitamrita purports, Prabhupada has given that elaboration of that. So, therefore, these esoteric pastimes, when they are heard with the spectacles, with the tint of sense gratificatory mentality, these pastimes can prove to be a disaster for the conditioned soul who is already having that burning fire of lust lurking in the heart. Sometimes people who hear these pastimes, even within ISKCON, I'm sorry to say this, that people have fallen prey to illicit sex. Like one person who fell prey to such illicit activities, he was saying that, oh, even Krishna is having affairs like this, what about me? This fool doesn't know. He's a conditioned soul, subject to gross sense gratificatory pleasures like a pig. And he is comparing his activity with Krishna's activity, which is most sublime, pure and pristine, which is on the spiritual plane with Vishuddha Sattva, which has nothing to do with bodily pleasures. So, therefore, it is very important for us to gradually uplift our consciousness from Tamaguna to Rajaguna to Sattva and beyond Sattva. By following the four regulative principles strictly, purely, no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication. By following these four principles and chanting the holy name, if you follow four regulative principles, Prabhupada says the animal becomes a human, he says. And if you chant the holy name, a human becomes divine, he says. And when you do both these activities, then we start floating in the divine platform. That Prabhupada has already given us. Chanting of the holy name and following the four regs. Then actually we post ourselves in a spiritual plane. Then we can gradually begin to appreciate these different rasas in which Krishna acts. And also, Srila Vishwanath Thakur says, whenever you are talking the Shastra, you should present the Shastra, especially those sections where Krishna's compassionate nature, Krishna's loving nature, Krishna's eagerness to protect the devotees and serve the devotees. These natures of Krishna are very much present in the Shastra, and they should be presented to the living entities so that living entities will get exposure to Krishna's real personality. Once you know Krishna's personality, you will feel so much affection for the Lord and His qualities and His behavior that it will start absorbing our mind even while going, coming, walking. Krishna is such a nice person. Like when I heard about the pastimes of Narayanastra and Vaishnavastra in the Mahabharata. Similarly, the Ashwasena, the Nagastra, how Krishna protected Arjuna in all these situations. Similarly, in the Jiva Goswami explains in 10th canto, when Jarasandha was to be killed, Bhima could not kill him, even after several days of fighting. It was Krishna who gave the idea that when you tear the body, you put it in a non-symmetric way, correct, no? But then when they returned to palace, Krishna sent Bhima first. Yudhishthira was standing outside and Yudhishthira patted Bhima and said, very good Bhima, anyone who comes in your grip can never escape. So Yudhishthira thought, who killed? Bhima only killed Jarasandha. Then Bhima said, oh Bhaya, even our Arjuna also came with me. Then Krishna sent Arjuna also in the front. Then Arjuna was also appreciated by Yudhishthira. And lastly Krishna got off the chariot, not expecting any type of appreciation. All I think for one moment, if you are the idea generator, you are the creative thinker, you gave an idea and somebody else is being appreciated, can we keep quiet? How many of you think it's little difficult to keep quiet? Correct, no? But here is Krishna, you will find he could have told Yudhishthira, my dear Yudhishthira, just check with Bhima who gave him the idea. He could have told, Krishna is ready to not take any credit. In the battle of Kurukshetra, he is telling Arjuna, Arjun, Tasmatam Uttishta Yasho Labhasva Jitva Shatrun Bhungshva Rajyam Samriddham. Gross and subtle benefit, you take everything. You take the kingdom, you take the credit for killing all these warriors, but for your kind information, I have already killed all of them. Mayaiva yete nihataha purvameva. I will do the work and you take the... Try to understand this nature of the Lord. The more we understand Krishna's personality, the more our heart will become malleable, softened. And then we can enter into, before even going to Vrindavan pastimes, we have to read Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita. Then we enter into enter into the Srimad Bhagavatam. Then all these different rasas. Then when our heart has completely understood and accepted Krishna's personality, what a wonderful personality he is, then his tricky nature, playful nature, naughty nature, mischievous nature, all will become relishable for us. When we see him doing this, because we know he is a harmless person. He is such a lovable person. Just like, for example, any of the mothers sitting here, they may take the mobile from their child and keep it on a fridge and give some toy mobile. Correct or not? Mothers do that. Can a mother really cheat a child? She can cheat a child, but her cheating is actually not cheating at all. Her cheating is also one form of benefit for the child. No parent will want to harm a child. So ask yourself in the heart, are we fully convinced that Krishna is supremely absolute and pure and sublime, and he cannot harm anybody? Even when he is killing somebody, he is actually benefiting that person. Hata Ari Gati Dayaka, it is said. He can kill some demon, and then if Hiranyakashipu was not killed by Narsimha, he would have gone to hell. But by killing him, Lord is giving Gati Dayaka. He is giving. All the warriors in the battle of Kurukshetra attained the Gati because of Krishna, because of them glancing at Krishna. And the whole war conducted by Krishna taking the lead. So, although I have not directly addressed the pastimes today, there's a lack of time, but what I told you is a stepping stone to understanding these pastimes. These are like the baby steps which I spoke about today. In the same place, Jagannatha's Babaji stayed here. His samadhi is there. This was his favorite place. And he used to perform bhajan here. And at one point of time he said, actually I am not fit to live in Vrindavan. Only pure souls free from offences can live. So he started staying 6 months in Navadvip and 6 months here. Like that he would do. Back and forth he would shuttle between the two. He lived like almost 147 years he stayed. So he sometimes used to chant in this place 3 days, 3 nights, non-stop chanting, without eating or drinking anything. That kind of bhajan he has done in this place. So, one of the days, somebody gave him 200 rupees donation. In those days, 200 means now several thousands of rupees. So he called his servant Bihari and said, now that I got a very good donation, let us make rasagullas, he said. And they made rasagullas. And rasagullas for whom? For feeding cows of the dham. He fed the cows. Bihari was amazed. You make rasagullas and feed the cows. And then he said, it is better to feed these cows than feed the hypocrite Babajis. Those who are cheaters. So, and then another day, one dog in the neighborhood hut, nearby, it laid some puppies. And the puppies saw the Babaji and they came running towards him. And when he was eating from his own plate, he served them. Served them prasad. And Bihari was trying to drive them away. He said, hey, don't drive them. They are all dham dogs. They belong to the dham. They are all dham vasis. They are worshipable. That's how he treated. There is one very famous song. I didn't get time to sing, but you can go through the song. Kabe Gauravane Suraduni Tate Harade Ha Krishna Bole. So this is the beginning, okay? You can see the meaning of that. Amazing song it is. What attitude he had, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, we should have towards the Dham, Dhamvasis and the land of Dham. It starts with Kabe Gauravane Suradhuni Tate. So that's about Navadvip is talking. So, and Babaji was very much against these Kirtaniyas who were singing this Japa Hare Krishna Hare Ram, what is that? Nita Gaur Radheshyam. He drove them away. They were right next to his hut, they were singing. He told all these bogus names don't sing. You should sing as Gauravihita Kirtana Shuni. Gauravihita Kirtana Shuni Param Anand. We sing now. In Mridanga Vadya, Shunitamana, and that it comes. Gauravihita Kirtan means what? We should sing the way Lord Chaitanya has taught us. We should not. Somebody was asking, why don't we chant this Japa Hare Krishna Hare Ram Nitya Gaur Radheshyam? All names are there. No, you don't coin your own mantra. No, then it won't have any potency. We should only chant the way it is coming in Guru Parampara. Similarly, professional reciters who collect money for giving Bhagavatam classes nowadays, you see it. Some saptaha they do 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, they fix money like that. So he used to call them as spiritual prostitutes. He used to call them. They claim to be spiritual, but they are actually prostitutes because they are wherever they get bigger money, they will run there. So he was deadly against it. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur very much loved him for his purity and sanctity. Somebody gave him a donation, 1 coin. So while going, he accepted the coin. But after going a mile, he told Bihari to take him back, and he gave back the coin. He said, right now I don't have any expenditure, why to store it? I will not take it. So strict he was. He didn't want to collect the public funds and later on not use it, will be misused by somebody else. So there are many pastimes of Jagannath Das Babaji here. Bhaktivinoda Thakur met him in 1880 and his heart started resonating with Jagannath Das Babaji's teachings very much. He invited him for the Prapanna ashram he had made, where he invited him to come and lead the discussion there. And then he also took Shiksha from him, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Even Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he was a young boy, he met Jagannath Das Babaji, and then Jagannath Babaji appreciated him for his Surya Siddhanta excellence and expertise. So he told him to make that Nadya Panchanga, which we have nowadays. So that was made by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur on the order of Jagannath Das Babaji. So, and also Jagannath Das Babaji is one of the most vital contribution is when Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Krishnanagar, he found out the place. One night he went to the rooftop, he found a big vision of a huge temple there, in the place of birthplace of Nimai. So he wanted to confirm it. So when he called for Jagannath Babaji to come, in those days he was 120 years plus. He used to travel in a basket carried by Bihari. But in that particular spot, he jumped out of the basket dancing. He said, this is a place, Yahita Nitaya Janmasthan, like that he proclaimed. So it became confirmed after that. Now we have a temple there in Navadvip. We have that. So in this way, Jagannath Das Babaji, whenever he chanted and danced, even though he was old beyond 120, 130 years, he used to leap like a lion in the air, he said. So like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to leap and dance like that. He was very, very enthusiastic. So for all of us, our Acharyas in the line are very important, very sacred. We have some amount of knowledge, information about them. And there is a thin booklet available on Jagannath Das Babaji, one on Jagannath Das Babaji, one on Gaur Krishna Babaji. So you will see that one thing that is common for all of our Acharyas is they are deadly against hypocrisy. And they are very much for purity and sanctity and preserving the sacred wisdom coming in the Guru Parampara. So they are, in that sense, they are all of the same jati, sajatiya. Everybody like that. Srila Jagannath Das Babaji ki, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki, Srila Gaur Krishna Babaji ki, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Krishna Bhagavan ki. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Radheshyam Prabhuji. Nice combination of philosophy and leelas. So let us express our deepest gratitude towards Radheshyam Prabhu for enlightening us on this very high subject. Thank you, Radheshyam Prabhu. Hare Hare. So I'll just speak a little bit about these places. There are 4 places to be visited. And after that, I'll make some feel. Okay, like this. Thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you, Radheshyam Prabhu. And then afterwards, I'll make some few important announcements. Okay. So the first is here at the temple, you will see the deity of Surya Narayan. So many people consider this as like a Surya Dev, sun god. But this is Krishna himself. Because we always say now Surya Narayan. Surya, sun god, is a position. Just like a moon god is a position, Brahma is a position, post. So similarly, sun planet is also a post. But sometimes whenever there is no suitable candidate or improper candidate, then Narayan himself becomes a sun, Surya. So in this temple, when you see the sun god, Surya Dev, that is Narayan himself. And the deity looks very small from outside. But if you go closer, the deity is standing, very huge deity. The pujaris can show you the lotus feet also. When you will do the parikrama of this kunda, everyone can see the deity. This Surya Narayan deity is a self-manifested deity. There are very few deities now present in the Braj who are self-manifested deity. And Surya Dev, the Surya Narayan, is one of them. Like Radha Raman, Banki Behari, Of course, Radha Govind, Radha Madan Mohan and Radha Damodar, these deities were shifted from this place. So when this Muslim invaded, attacked the temples of Vrindavan, so this deity of Narayan came in the dream of a pujari and said that I don't want to leave Braj. I want to stay here. So therefore this deity was hidden by the pujaris in this kunda. And when the attackers they went, again the deity was established here in the temple. So Radha, just like a Gaurang Prabhu and Radheshyam, both of them explained that Radharani every day she would come to worship Narayan, Surya Narayan every day here. So one time Jatila and Kutila, they came to know that here actually Radharani is not going to worship Surya. Actually she goes to meet Krishna. So they came, Jatila and Kutila they came, and Krishna and Radharani was here exactly at this place. Now Radharani became a little worried. What to do now? Jatila is there. So Krishna said, when I am there, why are you worrying? So then as the Jatila entered inside, Krishna entered into the deity form of Surya. And now in the form of a deity Surya, he is speaking to Jatila. Oh Jatila, why don't you allow your daughter-in-law to come to worship? And then Jatila was convinced, wow, this deity is speaking to me, I am so fortunate. So she said, yes. The same pastime also will also find when we will do Govardhan Parikrama near the Sankarshan Kund. There is also Kund, just 400 meters away from Sankarshan Kund is Gauri Kund. In that temple, every day Sri Radha goes to worship Gauri Devi. And then one day again Jatila went to that place. And Radharani and Krishna, they were having discussion. And Jatila saw Radharani, but she could not see Krishna, because Krishna entered the deity form of Gauri. And now Krishna is chastising Jatila. Oh Jatila. Because the previous day, Jatila, Abhimanyu and Kutila, they had made a plan that this Vrindavan is not safe for us. We will move from Vrindavan to Mathura. And the next day they were about to leave. And then Krishna went into the form of a deity, a Gauri, and started chastising Jatila. Oh Jatila, if you leave this place and if you go to Mathura, the moment you reach Mathura, you will all die. So then Jatila became afraid. She said, no, Gauri Mai, I give you promise, we will never Vrindavan. Then Gauri said, okay, I am very happy with you. So let your daughter-in-law every day come to worship me. The same pastime happened here. So Krishna is in the form of Surya Narayan. And same Krishna stood like this. And now the same deity, self-manifested Vigraha. So we'll all do parikrama of this kunda. So now why Sri Radha, this is the one of the place in Vrindavan where Parakiya rasa is prominent. Just like Radheshyam Prabhu has mentioned Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras and Madhuri ras. Even in Madhuri ras there are two rasas. One is a Swakiya rasa and is a Parakiya rasa. So this place is representative of representing the Parakiya rasa. Now just within 2 minutes I will explain our Acharyas explain why there is a need of experiencing Parakiya rasa. Krishna could have married Radharani and all the gopis. Of course, he also got married them. But then, but apparently he was not married. So why did he enjoy that Parakiya rasa? Because our Acharya writes, when the gopis were not legally married to Krishna, therefore they were always making plan to make Krishna. Just like in Dwarka, all the queens were legally married to Krishna. So even if sometimes Rukmini Mata wants to embrace Krishna, what is the problem? She can embrace anywhere to Krishna, right? No one has any doubt, no one has any objection, because she is legally married to Krishna, that is Swakiya. So therefore, in that relationship, there is no risk involved. And because there is no risk involved, there is a surrender also is little less. In Braj, the gopis were not officially legally married to Krishna. Therefore, they were hiding their love towards Krishna and they wanted to meet Krishna. So they can't meet everywhere. So they had every moment they were very so alert. If you go to this direction, then we can see Krishna. So every moment they were making plans. So there was more intensity. When there is more intensity, when there is more risk, there is more surrender. And therefore, Krishna wanted to bring that joy in the hearts of the gopis. He wants to make them more attracted towards Krishna. So therefore, Krishna is experiencing the Parakya Rasa here in Vrindavan. So when Krishna came on the bank of the Jamuna, when he played his flute, all the gopis, they came, and then Krishna is asking them, oh, you are all married girls, most of them were married. You please go back, take care of your responsibilities, take care of your household duties. Why are you here? Now the gopis are saying, my dear Krishna, there are two types of dharma. One is a mukhya dharma, other is a gauna dharma. Now gauna dharma means as long as we are on the bodily platform, we have to take care of our bodily relationship. And then they say that last so many lifetimes, we followed the Gauna Dharma perfectly, taking care of the responsibility. But now here in this lifetime, we are beyond the bodily platform. We are now acting on a soul's platform. That is the Mukhya Dharma of the soul towards Krishna. And now they are saying that last so many lifetimes, we were wives and husband and sons and daughters. So we followed this responsibility. But now, please, even after coming to the Mukhya Dharma, why are you sending us back to our Gauna Dharma? And then they gave a beautiful argument to Krishna. They say that in this material world, the married ladies, they consider their husband as a Parameshwar, right? Pati Parameshwar. But just like they consider their husband like a Parameshwar. But our husband himself is a Parameshwar. So it's not like, just consider your husband as a Parameshwar. We have our husband, you, as a Parameshwar. So therefore, don't send us back to our Gauna Dharma. So our Acharyas write, the Parakya Rasa is, their Leela, their love for Krishna is Guna Rahitam, means beyond the three modes. Their love is Kama Rahitam, beyond the lust. And because it is Guna Rahitam and Kama Rahitam, therefore it is Pratikshana Vardhanam. Every moment the joy is increasing and finally it is Amrutam. So the gopis' love for Krishna, which is Parakya Rasa, so our Acharya writes, when there is a risk, even Cupid, he also puts his highest weapon when everything is highly protected. Now the gopis of Vrindavan, they were so protected by their elderly family members, it was very difficult to approach them. And therefore Krishna, who is Aptakami, who is self-satisfied, even he was attracted. Oh, this personality, I can't even look at her. Okay. So he shows his highest weapon, his beauty, his Parakya Rasa. So therefore, Krishna wants to enjoy this Parakya Rasa only in this Braj. And this place is a personification of that Parakya Rasa. So this Kunda is Surya Kund, and it is Surya's deity. Krishna personally is now standing there. All of us will please do parikrama around this Kunda. And next to that there is a footprints of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at this place. And then when we do parikrama, at that place there is Jagannathdas Babaji, as Radheshyam Prabhu very nicely explained. So we'll take darshan of Jagannathdas Babaji's bhajan kutir, and then after completing the so will show us the footprints, lotus feet of Krishna and the deity.